Welcome back to Up Front. We don't know yet how the videotape of Donald Trump from 2005 will affect this year's election. But certainly until the story broke, Republicans thought Wisconsin was very much in play. Both Trump and Pence have been here. Hillary Clinton hasn't, but other prominent Democrats have. Former President Bill Clinton appeared in Milwaukee yesterday, urging people to vote early. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren rallied millennial voters in Madison and Milwaukee on Friday. Former Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders also appeared in Madison, where I had a chance to sit down with him on Wednesday. I asked him why Clinton is having problems sealing the deal with young voters. Senator Sanders, good to have you with us today. Let me talk about this role for you. Hard-fought campaign. Now you're helping Hillary Clinton. How does this feel to you?
Well, needless to say, I would have preferred to have won, and I want to thank the people of Wisconsin for the support that they gave me. We did very well here in this state. But look, I've got 4 kids and 7 grandchildren, and to be very honest with you, I do not want them growing up under a Trump presidency. I think Donald Trump would be a disaster for this country. He stands in opposition to everything that I believe in. I think if you look at the issues that Secretary Clinton is running on, you will find that it is a progressive platform. And I'm going to do everything that I can to see that she is elected.
You had some strong words for Donald Trump at a speech in Madison. You said that he had made bigotry the cornerstone of his campaign.
Yes.
Tough words.
Those are tough words, but it's really true. I mean, anyone who follows the campaign understands that he's not talking about health care. He's not talking about education. He's certainly not talking about the environment. He's not talking about women's rights. He has made bigotry, the idea that we should think that Mexicans are rapists and criminals, or that we should bar Muslims in a totally unconstitutional way from coming into this country, and the kind of ugly attacks that he makes against women. This is the year 2016. I can understand schoolboys who are in the 3rd grade making stupid remarks, not somebody who's running for president of the United States calling women dogs or slobs. I mean, this is not somebody we can have for president. So I think on a whole lot of reasons, not only because he has made bigotry the cornerstone of his campaign, but economics, climate change, he is somebody who should not become president.
There was an article in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel on Wednesday, and the gist of the article was this, that Hillary Clinton is struggling with millennials. And the poll that was cited is the Marquette Law School poll that I actually work on. People under 30, she's getting 34% of the vote. 4 years ago, Barack Obama got 60%. What is not connecting with millennials, and what message do you hope to deliver that does connect?
Well, I honestly don't know the answer, but this is what I would say. I would ask not just millennials, but all people to understand, in my view, politics is not a personality contest. We're not voting for our best friend to become class president. We are voting for the president of the United States, and this election will impact our kids, our parents, and future generations. It is, despite what much of the national media is about, it is not a personality fight. It is a policy debate about the future of this country. And I would ask millennials, I would ask all people, do you think that at a time of massive income and wealth inequality, where the rich are becoming phenomenally richer, that we should be giving hundreds of billions of dollars in tax breaks to the very, very wealthiest people in this country? Most Americans don't think so. Donald Trump thinks it's a good idea. Most Americans believe that we should raise the minimum wage to a living wage. 7.25 is a starvation federal minimum wage. Donald Trump does not believe that. Most Americans think we should have pay equity in this country, equal pay for equal work. The women should not be making 79 cents on the dollar. Donald Trump does not. So I would just ask people, take a hard look at the issues. You will find Clinton's position on virtually every issue far superior to Trump's.
Are you convinced that on Election Day, your supporters, the people who felt passionately about you and your messages, will be there for Hillary Clinton?
I think look, we got 13.4 million votes. So I'm not going to tell you that every one of those voters is going to vote for Hillary Clinton. That's certainly not the case. I think the vast majority of them will for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think many of them share my concern about what our country would look like under a Donald Trump, which I think is just disastrous. I mean, it's hard for me even to imagine that. And second of all, I think that when people begin to focus on Clinton's views on issues, for example, I mentioned it here today, She and I worked on a proposal to make public colleges and universities tuition-free for all families making $125,000 or less. You know what? That is a big, big deal. That's going to make life a lot easier for a lot of people who go to college, who are not going to come out with deep debt. It's also going to enable many hundreds of thousands of people to go to college. That's a big deal. Look at that issue. Look at her views on climate change. Trump thinks climate change is a hoax. The entire scientific community thinks it is a real threat to the planet. So I would ask millennials, I would ask all Americans, get beyond the personality thing. You don't like Trump, you don't like Clinton, fine. Take a look at the issues and how they impact your families.
Final question. This is about going back to the Senate. Does this campaign, does the revolution continue in a meaningful way as you return to the Senate?
Absolutely.
Look, in what sense?
What I've just said to the audience here in Madison, and what I say in every speech that I give, politics does not end on Election Day. What we have right now is a 1%, a billionaire class that exerts enormous power over Congress. They have lobbyists all over the place. They make huge campaign contributions. The only way we make our government work for the middle class rather than the 1% is when millions of people get involved in the political process. So to answer your question, the day after the election, we have got to resume our efforts to create a government that works for all of us, not just the people on top.
Senator Sanders, thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up next, the state lawmaker who says the legislature should hold hearings to get to the bottom of the John Doe investigation.